Government shutdown. Is this the thing that caused the market to pull back? Let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video. Trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There is no guarantees of making money in the markets, and trading is the most hardest thing you will ever do, and it takes a long time to become a good trader. So this video is just educational only. If you're struggling with your trading right now, then click on the very first link in the description and get learn a free training, the 7 universal laws to become a master trader that will boost your success, consistency, and confidence without spending a decade trying to figure it out. Click on the very first link in the description right now. Hey traders, hope you're doing well. This video is just going to be a Q&A question. I'm going to go through all the last couple of videos that I've had, look through the comments and share with you some things that I see. And plus I'm going to talk about what I think about the government shutdown means to the markets. Obviously there was a question about that on my YouTube channel, so I'm going to talk about that as well. If you do have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything you want me to look at, because I'll be doing more of these Q&A videos, then please leave a comment in the question or section box below, and I'll be able to help you out even more. So let's get straight into that right now. And I'm going to scroll down. This is one of the very first videos I have here, and this was what's next for silver and gold. And Aussie said, "G'day John, GLD SLV should get a positive move up from introduction of new petrol gold backed by UN starting today? Question mark, question mark." Aussie, and you're probably going to hear me say this so many times in the market, do not be thinking something's going to happen because something happened. I know that I know that sounds really weird, right? Because that's just guessing, right? That's a guessing game. Don't be trading, don't be making a decision based on a guessing game. Possible result is US dollar returning home, continuing to devalue, thus creating inflation, which I do think that's going to happen. Very positive for the metals for sure. Thanks for your great analysis. Aussie, what I do say is this, is that please just look at the charts. Okay, you're going to hear me probably say this a lot of the time in this here, but the only thing, and go back to what Charles Dahl said, okay? This is Charles Dahl. This is he's got a comment here, right? What's this here? The very first thing here, the price discounts everything. That means the chart itself. Forget indicators, forget what you think fundamentally, because nothing in the market is set in stone, right? Everything is supposed to be overvalued right now, but this thing could keep going on for another 12 months. We don't know. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to the way this stock market is. So, you know, and you don't know when this thing's going to turn around. The only thing you can do is read the charts, right? The price discounts everything. A trend is assumed to be in effect until it gives a definite signal that it has reversed. So when that happens, the market will start to show us that reversing. But right now, you don't know what's going to happen. So when you're talking about, you know, the GLD and the SLV, you only want to focus on what the actual overall market is saying. And for me, that big picture analysis on GLD SLV is actually starting to look very, very bullish. Yes, it is. So that's what you want to do there. So Anthony says, AG looking juicy. Anthony, I actually got into AG a few days ago as well too. It's had a bit of a pullback, but I see over the next, probably the next month or so, that thing's going to continue running up. I watched these videos just for the 5-second intro. Good on ya, Brunson. Thank you, God bless. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me go back to the next video now. This is scary. This one right here. And I'm going to pause that there. And let me go down to this one here. This video right here. Let me load up the comments. Thanks, John. Always great to get your input. Thanks, Destiny. Nick, agreed. Fantastic. Great video, John. Remember your Bitcoin bubble videos. I trusted your channel the most of these types of things. Thanks. Thanks, JJ. Now, just remember, JJ, all right? Remember, what I want to say, JJ, about this video here, right? Like, this looks scary, is that the stock market is a bubble. Remember what I said before, guys, right? The stock market is a bubble right now, and we can see that what's happening right now. This thing's gone up so high, so fast. So it's a bubble, and we can see what's likely to happen. Okay. Now the thing is, there's a big question mark about the bubbles. Like, how high do they keep pushing it? How high does the market keep going up? That's the problem with the bubble, right? Now the question is like, and there's also another question mark, is like, we are due right now in the stock markets, that is S&P, Nasdaq, and Dow. We are due, because it's been vertical now for quite some time. We are due for a decent pullback, maybe 5 or 10% pullback. But just think about it, guys. Right now, that's what the market may just all give. You know what I mean? It may just give a 5 or 10% pullback, and then suddenly, boom, the market starts to create new highs. What you want to do, and the reason why there's a lot of ifs here, is because you just want to follow along with the charts. as long as, if those weekly charts start to make lower highs and lower highs, you know, sellers are in control. And as long as they keep pushing, and as long as they keep making lower highs, the market's going to keep going down. As long as as soon as those highs start to get broken, then we have a new uptrend. So what I'm saying right now is, right now on those longer term charts, like the weekly charts, we still have major higher lows. So even if we do get a 5 or 10% correction, 5 or 10% pullback, the overall buyers are still majorly in control. So yes, I do say there's a bubble, and stock market looks scary, etc., etc., etc. This looks like Bitcoin, so on and so forth. And yes, I do expect to see a bit of a pullback. But just remember, guys, the overall big picture, the overall big picture has not changed yet, and we're not going to get a crash just overnight, just like that, right? We're not going to get a 50% pullback in 1 week like we did see in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a completely different kettle of fish. Make sense? So I hope that makes sense, JJ. Pretty sure Bitcoin was bubble at 5,000 or maybe 3,000. Joe, you're awesome, you know that. Richard, will the government shutdown cause a pullback on Monday? I don't think the market has priced this in, so I expect jitters. You know what, Richard, the thing about this is that you say that the market hasn't priced this in, but isn't it interesting that we've been going up for 2 or 3 weeks almost straight, almost vertical? Isn't it interesting now that we've had probably one of the strongest bull markets in probably history, or close to it anyway, especially the last 12 months, that we've just gone up and up and up and up. You say it hasn't priced it in, but yet the market is telling us we're due for some sort of decent pullback. I'm not calling it a crash. You say it hasn't been priced in, but it's interesting now that the government shut down after we had this big, massive booming, especially in the last 2 weeks. The market's just gone up and up and up, just vertical. We're due for a pullback anyway. That's what the market's saying. So you know what? I actually think the market did price it in. So there's my little 2 cents on that. What do you guys think? John, this tells us how much US dollar they keep printing, nearly $1 trillion every month or more. So where does the money go? Well, some of it to the stock market. Now hedge funds are ready to position to shorts to the hell out of it could be. You know what, Tata C, you know, you're right, and that may be right, that may or may, there's a lot of question marks there. Again, I'm going to go back to, what is the chart telling you right now? Long-term buyers. So do not be trying to think that this thing's going to start to turn into a major bear market. If it is going to turn into a major bear market, remember, guys, 2008 was 2008, not 1 week in 2008. Remember? 2008, what happened? It started making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. It started to step down on the weekly chart. So the overall chart slowly started. We're not going to get we're not suddenly just going to get out of nowhere suddenly, like a 50% crash in 1 week again, like Bitcoin. That's not going to, it's likely not going to happen. If we are going to get a 50 to 80% pullback over the next couple of years, the market's going to start showing weakness. We might get a sharp 5 or 6 or 10 or even a 10% pullback, and then it'll rally for a little bit, and then it'll start to create another lower high, and that's when the market will start to show, okay, now we're getting into a bear market phase because it's breaking, and maybe even breaking, and right now the weekly chart's making higher, and I haven't got my charts here, but I'll show you what I mean here. The weekly chart's making high highs, high lows, high highs. If we break down through here, and suddenly we rally back up, and now we break back down again, we are now breaking these lows through here, creating lower high. This could be the start of a bear market on the downside. So that's all you really want to watch for. I know that sounds pretty simple, but just, don't take my word for it. Go back and look at every stock market crash in history and tell me what the chart was saying. That's I know it sounds pretty simple and pretty simplistic, but that's all you have to worry about. It's not like, I spoke to someone just recently yesterday. It was actually a friend or an acquaintance that I just sort of met yesterday. And she was saying, the only people that make money out of trading is those people that have the insider knowledge. I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. See, a lot of people make this thing more complicated than it really, really, really is. So I hope that makes sense there. Thank you. God bless. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Well, Dow Jones started rallying on the 9th of March 2009. Add 9 biblical. Ashu, you've been saying these. You've been saying these. You've been adding these numbers all year, my friend. Is the maximum number numerals after the... I just don't know what it means just yet, sharing my thoughts. Maybe the last year for... You know what, Ashu? As you've been watching my video for a while now, follow the charts, all right? Go back and look at the 1937, 1987, 2008. even, you know, all the stock market crashes. Go back and look at history and tell me what happened on the market. Tell me what started happening on the charts. Started creating these lower highs, lower lows, and that's when the big overall bear market. Now you can never pick the top. You can never pick the bottom in the markets, because that's not what trading is all about. But if you start, again, like right now, if we start to get a sharp 5-10% pullback, and then we have a 5% or so rally, and then we have another 10 or so percent pullback, that may be the start of the bear market, which is going to lead in the stock market crash. Just think about it, guys, right? 2008 was the entire bear market. When did the whole Lehman, the whole banking collapse actually become public? September. So that we were already in a major bear market for the entire 2008. Then August, September, October was when the whole Lehman things started coming out. And then, oh my goodness, the market crashed really, really quickly. The market was going down in the first place. And I assure that's all you really need to worry about, okay? Forget those numbers, you know? Stop calculating numbers, trying to predict tops and bottoms. It just doesn't work. You might be right. You know, like if you say it, you know, if you can't tell, you know, what's what's the saying? I don't know, but I'm going to make up my own, right? If you don't have a watch and you keep saying it's 4 p.m., it's 4 p.m., it's 4 p.m., guess what? You're going to be right 1 out of 1,000 times. Please, don't listen to me. Don't take my word for it. Go back and look at the charts. Go back and look at the time frame. Go back and look at the market, what the markets are actually telling us. So yeah, so 99, my ass has 2 bubbles. I'm sure it does. One on the left and one on the right. I'm sure it does. I'm not sure if you're a bit of a troll there, 99, but I haven't blocked your ass yet. Keep it going. I'm pretty sure I will. Now, moving on. And from dumbass trader to success. Here we go. Now let's actually continue down through here. Also, what do you mean when you talked about risk management? I remember one trade you took short Tesla when 50-day crossed 200-day. No, Anthony, no, that's what you said, right? That's what you said. You said, oh, well, look, the 50 days crossed the 200-day, which is ultimately a winner after a few days. Really? Nothing's an ultimate winner after a few days consistently. There's always a win-loss ratio. So, no, I didn't take a trade when the 50 crossed the 200-day. That's what you said, Anthony, okay? I took a trade based on what my system said. And yes, it was a stop out, but I think you got stopped out on it. Yep, that's right. It was just one of those. Guess what? It was one of those trades that just didn't work. It's called a win-loss ratio. If you're doing that system, don't you need to fully take the win or loss? Anthony, my man. I have my trading system. When I get into my trading system says this is when you're going to get in, and this is when you're going to get out for a loss. Getting out for a profit is subjective to if I want to hold on a bit more or so on and so forth. So it's more subjective. But Anthony, that's what my system tells me. All right, I don't just go short for the sake of going. I'm not going to go short because the 50 crossed the 200-day. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. That's using moving averages. Use the price action. I use the price action. I use what's actually on the chart to tell me when I get in. And if this is not going to work out, yes, I'm going to get it. Guess what? A losing trade is going to happen. You're going to have a losing trade. What is so difficult about people understanding about that? You know, you get into a trade, you know, you're going, guess what? Here's the fact. Every now and then, you're going to have 3 or 4 losing trades in a row. Even if you've got a 90% success rate, you're going to have 3 or 4 losing trades in a row. Just accept that. If you can't, please stop trading. So yeah, I hope that makes sense, Anthony. You know, like I have my own system. 90% of my trading system comes from the chart itself. I have, right now, I've got an 85% success rate, Anthony. So Anthony, even with that Tesla stop out, by the way, it was a 2% loss of a 5% position of my account. So I took 5% of my account, I placed it on Tesla. I had a 2% loss. You did enough. It's like, I don't know, what's that? 0.1% or something like that loss on my account. You know, and so it's basically break even trade for me. And so I didn't really take a big hit overall on Tesla. Oh, sorry, no, that's my bad. That was a recent trade. That trade there, yeah, that trade there. I think my account. I think I lost about 2%, 2.5%. That was about a 40 or 50% loss on that one. So that was about 2.5% of my account. But as I said before, even with that there, I've had an 85% success rate for the last few months. So it's not about that one trade because I don't really care about that one trade. It's like, nope, not in, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps you out there, Anthony. Mini. John, please, you have to make a lesson or video on trading volumes. This is not clear to me. Trading volumes are mini. Mini. I think it is. You don't. It's very, very, very important that you understand what when you talk about trading volumes. When you're trading volumes, you don't actually trade the volume itself. Always trade the market. Always trade the chart. The chart is king, right? Chart rules over everything. The chart is king, and then you use volume for confirmation. So what I mean by that is that if the market's been going sideways for quite some time, and you get a nice, good, strong breakaway bar out of that sideways range for the last month, and you get a really good volume spike with that, that shows that there's a lot of supportive volume, a lot of institutions buying that up at that time. Makes sense? So there's a lot that actually goes into trading volume. And if you just look, what I recommend do is just type into the search engines John Howe volume trading or something like that, or analyzing volume or something like that, and there'll be videos that come up in YouTube where I talk about how to analyze whether a pullback is definite and all that sort of stuff, and also using more volume there. The other thing I do say is that never ever use volume to trade with. I mean, trade only. I use and this is one thing, I use 90% of my decision comes from the chart and chart only. Then I use one moving average and volume to confirm that that entry is a good entry and it meets my rules. I have 4 simple trading rules, and that's it. Great advice. All right, fantastic. Appreciate it, Anthony. I booked an appointment as well through the calendar. Same response, not there. Tom. Hey John, I filled out the form but never got any reply. Hey Tom, it's that may be for a few reasons. You may not have been accepted into that, or you may not have met the requirements, or anything like that. If you do meet the requirements and you want to fill out the form again, and you meet the requirements for that, then you can actually go check out that again later on. But if you didn't get any response, you probably got an email from me saying sorry you weren't. I would have sent you an email and a reply saying sorry you weren't accepted, or you didn't meet the requirements, something like that. So, and I hope that helps you out. So there we go, guys. There's a bit of an update for you guys on YouTube and some things there that's going on there. What I do see, guys, is I'm going to do a bit more of analysis on silver and gold throughout the week, but I do see silver and gold a lot, especially the actual silver and gold stocks, XAU and stuff like that. They've broken past major lows, or they broke past a few major lows, and now they've rallied back up. That's showing possible bottom in gold and silver. Gold has rallied nicely. Gold has rallied very, very nicely, very, very strongly in the market. And let me just see if I can just turn this off here.
Hey traders.
Yeah. All right, cool there. All right, so I thought I'd just put this up here so you can see here. So yeah, so that's what's happening with gold and silver. That's what's happening with the stock market right now. As I said before, it is in a bubble. I don't know whether this is going to be a top action. I'm not going to sit here and try and call a top, because it's just crazy trying to pick a top in this market. What I do say is that if you just start to look at what the market's doing and what the stock market's doing, and you just, again, go back to the charts, and if you're having problems with the charts, again, you can see like, even this chart here. What is this chart here? It's a line chart. Just go back to a simple line chart on the stock you're looking at, and look at this here: lower high, 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 lower high. Oh, look, oh. Ran up, made a high, came down. Ran up, made a higher low. Then it started making another lower high here. Lower high, a lower low, lower low, another slight lower low, which was a breakdown. Now it's rallying back up. So tell me, if this stock here, which is CDE, by the way, if this starts to rally back up above this $10 here and rallies up there, runs up, comes back down, and then starts to head back up again like that. It does something like that. What is it they're going to tell you? Oh, look, the buyers are starting to raise their prices, and then you would expect to see this sort of action happening out of it. No, not like that, but you know what I mean? Like, you just go back on there. Just follow along with the charts, guys. That's the most important thing amongst all these questions here. A lot of people are trying to pick tops, bottoms, trying to, guess what the market's going to do. The government shutdown, stuff like that. It's like, guys, The market right now is the market right now is ripe for a pullback anyway. So the government shutdown may be just the news that's going to cause the pullback. Guys, the market doesn't just keep going straight up, right? Look at them, and that's one thing like, oh my goodness, the government shutdown caused the pullback in the markets. Oh my god, it's like no, right? Because it's just throw all that crap out the window. Focus on the charts. Focus on the charts. The charts have been going up almost every day for 2 weeks. We are due for a pullback anyway. This just happened to be the catalyst or the reason why I pull back, because there's no way the market just goes going up and up and up and up and up every day. Even in a good, strong, big, strong, booming market, we do have some pullbacks. Even in Bitcoin, you look at Bitcoin. That's what Bitcoin did, right? It had you know, a good strong rally and then a good pullback, a good strong rally, a good pullback, and then so on and so forth in the market. So there we go, guys. Bit of an update. Have an amazing week.